developments. Reports suggest that after a meeting with the Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma, it has been reported in newspapers that the Kuki Su group withdrew road blockade on National Highway 2. There's a combined team and 24 bunkers around Imphal West in East were destroyed. A 30-member civil bodies team from Nagaland visited Manipur to promote peace and solidarity. And yes, someone tried to interfere in Indian affairs. US Ambassador to India, Eric Garcetti, has said that his country is ready to assist in any way if asked to resolve the Manipur crisis. While calling it an internal matter of India, Eric Garcetti said US does not have any strategic concerns, but it has human concern. On this, I will be joined by Lieutenant General Sukhdeep Sangwan, former Director General of Assam Rifle. A very warm welcome to you. Glari Waife Hunjan, member of the Kuki community. Dr. Sriram Rajesh, journalist and social activist. And yes, noted author and scholar of Northeast region, Rami Niranjan Desai. But before that, I would like to ask my input editor, Brijesh, and let me play out the bite of Eric Garcetti first. And then I'll take the question to Brijesh.
Let me speak about Manipur first, which is that we pray for peace there. When you ask, does it concern the United States, I don't think it's about strategic concerns. I think it's about human concerns. I think all of us, you don't have to be Indian to care when children or individuals die in the sort of violence that we see. And we know that peace is the precedent for so many other good things. There's been so much progress in the Northeast and in the East here. The country has done some remarkable things in recent years, and those can't continue without peace. So we stand ready, willing, able to assist in any way if asked, but we know this is an Indian matter, and we pray for that peace, that it may come quickly, because we can bring more collaboration, more projects, more investment, if that peace is in place. The second piece that you mentioned is, democracies are difficult, right? All of us, we come from a place of a lot of humility in the United States. Protecting minority rights is not easy to do in the United States. Democracies are both about majority rule and all voices being protected. And so those are our values. We talk about them, or we talk about them in an unabashed way, and we believe them deeply in our core. They're reflected in the documents of our country as they're reflected in the documents of yours as well.
Isn't the American ambassador trying to fish in troubled waters?
I think, he's yet to get out of from the high horse that usually people from, United States of America or others, the diplomat, they have in mind that, that we are living in a third world country where they need our guidance on how to, control a situation. Basically, if any smart diplomat can tell them, for one incident, 5 incidents which happened in America, which compromises on the famed democratic principles which are there. I think I'm not concerned, honestly speaking, about, Karthikeya, about what the American ambassador is trying to see. Nobody cares that much about, but yeah, it is, I will be wrong if I don't say that it is indeed embarrassing as well. Okay. And then the fact is that what is more worrisome for me individually, Karthikeya, is that the violence is not being able, the state administration and the center is not able to contain the violence, which I feel is a very, is becoming a big challenge now.
I'm also joined by noted social activist Glari. Glari, a very warm welcome to you. Glari, what do you have to say in your opening statement on the indiscriminate firing which continues in Manipur?
Yes, Karthikeya, this is the 66 days today. It's a 2 months long violent erupted in Manipur since 3rd May. We all know that. Over 112 people life lost, over 300 churches burned down, and about 40,000 people internally displaced, which is very unfortunate. And then, like I said yesterday, the court is not, the fair trial is not given to both the party. Manipur High Court is very accessible for the tribal, and the suggestion of moving High Court to Guwahati for temporary is not done till now. And also, I won't be able to stay too long because, like I talk on the phone, that I have a meeting going on the other room. But I'm here just to tell that the unfortunate thing happened with this Mrs. Don Namting Hangba, which was shot dead yesterday, which the media reported that she's a suicide bomber disrupting the school-going children. I just want to clarify that she is a local person from Churachandpur, born in 1961 in a place, Moldeng, which is very close to the hub of Churachandpur district. And this kind of narrative, wrong narrative should be stopped. The real news has to come out. I know the name of her father, Pu Khamkhozam, and Man Koi Tonsing is her parents, and she has this mental illness, schizophrenia, where she went to even Bihar for treatment. Such kind of, innocent
Okay.
life, who's mentally sick, was killed yesterday. So I just want to bring to the notice that if a person who's roaming around unharmed, harmless person is also brutally shot and killed, who will spare our life in Manipur? This
You know,
is the
Gladdy,
point I want to
today,
bring today.
Gladdy,
Yes,
we are very
yes.
lucky, you remember in the track 2 when we met for the first time today, and it's a good day that Lieutenant General Sukhdeep Sangwan has joined us, and he's former DG Assam Rifles. We had discussed this issue number of times. I'm so glad, Brijesh, at least today, we will have some answers, because there were a lot of questions and narratives about or around Assam Rifles. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And my first question to you is, how do you see and how do you react to this narrative around Assam Rifle in the context of Manipur, sir?
Okay, let me first deviate and swerve from a mere customary thanks to News9 and to you, Karthikeya, to rather gracious and humble indebtedness to you for affording me this opportunity. See, I have spent most part of my service in Northeast as a whole, and Manipur in particular, and Assam Rifles are close to my heart. Getting an opportunity to speak before you in respect of Assam Rifles is a privilege. See, while speaking about Assam Rifles, I would try and clear some haze which surrounds not only the populace in the Northeast, but also rest of the country. Why I said haze is because this force, the oldest paramilitary force, which was raised in 1835 as Kachar Levy, is basically to safeguard the interests of the tea planters, has always remained focused on its task and never attempted to go and publicize what it is doing for the social cause. Unfortunately, it has always it has faced the flak rather than getting the credit. You see, it was raised in Northeast. It was raised with people from the Northeast. The 100% populace in the initial stages was from Northeast. So Assam Rifles DNA and the Northeast DNA cannot be separated. And that is rightly so. That's why it is rightly so called as Friends of the Northeast. And of course, it is the Sentinels of the Northeast. It grew as militia. I'll be very cryptic because I respect the wisdom of audience. It grew as militia. It participated in World War I. Thereafter, in 1917, it got the current name, that is Assam Rifles. If today Kohima and Imphal are with India, it is because of the people of Northeast who fought shoulder to shoulder with Assam Rifles that we have these two important cities with us today. That is the kind of contribution. It has participated in all wars. It is a CICT hardened force. Not only in Northeast, all insurgencies in Northeast, Assam Rifles has been part of. It has basically dealt in the counter-insurgency operations. Assam Rifles has been in IPKF. That is, it fought against the LTT. It has gone to Sri Lanka. It has gone to J&K. It has participated in Punjab. Not only this, it has got an international footfall. For 9 years, it was there in UN peacekeeping force in Haiti. And with an impeccable human rights record, it has been awarded numerous times by the United Nations. We've raised a NDP, that is the NDRF battalion. So these are some of the achievements of this force, the General Neutral Force. And let me tell you, the significant part of the Assam Rifle is in the conventional domain, which we can't speak in the open forum. It has got a conventional role. I told you it has participated in all wars except Kargil, because Kargil in military parlance, I'm basically a military man. We never treated Kargil as a war. It was a mere skirmish, and we don't have to get all forces in the skirmish. Now let's talk about the Assam Rifles' contribution in the Northeast. And I hope I'm not taking too much of time, Karthikeya.
No,
Can I
please,
go on?
please, just go ahead, and then then once you are done, then I'll introduce other guests as well, sir, and then we'll have questions.
I'll just take two parts very briefly on the contribution, and secondly, the operational environment, how Assam Rifle is operating with its both hands tied. It's both hands tied. Firstly, the contribution. It has always invested in the future of Northeast. 46 schools are being run, which are not confined only to the children of Assam Rifles. We are basically allowing children from Northeast. You see the initiative, recent initiative by the DG Assam Rifles, current DG Assam Rifles, the way we have trained people to join the Sainik schools. Pungalwa is one example wherein the intake has increased. Even in Thobal, we train people to join the National Defense Academy as officers. 3 cadets cleared the NDA test in 2021. We conduct educational tours. Assam Rifle is one force which has recognized the soft power potential of Northeast, and I have been saying again and again, the government of India needs to harness the soft power potential of beautiful states of the Northeast, all 7, rather all 8 Northeastern states. Assam Rifle does it. We were the first ones to introduce the sports, under 19 women's sports tournament. You do the sports. We have established the first sports school of sports in the Northeast in Shillong. It is the second of its kind in the country. The first one is the National School of Sports Rai. We were there to establish the first pineapple processing plant long back in Ghaspani. The Assam Rifle ex-servicemen were settled in a place called Vijayanagar, which unfortunately, though, today also remains unconnected by the road. It's not connected. It's
so are you talking about Vijayanagar in Arunachal Pradesh?
Yeah, so that is also where
Well, let me tell you, sir, I had the privilege of landing in the of the ALC of Vijayanagar in 2003.
Oh, that's
and I was there. And I was there for 5 hours in Vijayanagar. First we took the helicopter and then we took the plane.
Yeah, so that is the
Army
place
took us.
by our ex-servicemen, the Assam Rifle ex-servicemen. And then all disaster management activities, all medical emergencies, and the COVID management, just we saw this, was done by Assam Rifles. Let me compliment the Northeast populace here. The kind of discipline we saw in Northeast populace during COVID was amazing. What we wanted, what we told them, they followed in letter and spirit, and we could contain to a large extent.
Okay.
These were few things. And then I'll talk about the operational environment once you have...
oh, absolutely, sir. Stay with me. I'm also joined by Dr. Sriram Rajesh. Glad he is back. Dr. Rajesh, today we really are privileged to have Lieutenant General Sangwan with us. But, I want to today talk about the narrative of Assam Rifle. I thought I'll dedicate this show. कुछ दूध का दूध पानी का पानी. What are the issues? Why is the debate on Assam Rifle so contested? A community supports it and another opposes it. Dr. Sriram Rajesh.
Yeah, I think I missed some of the point that was actually mentioned. In this, you are actually asking a very important questions, and in the context of Manipur violence, that there are, in fact, as we all know, that in the last 60 days, the conflict is continuing, and still it seems like, it started from the 3rd May. So there is no progress, and both the groups, both the Kukis and the Meitei, they are arming themselves to protect themselves, because the state has completely failed. When I say state, it includes the state government and also central government. So why the state has failed, we need to find out what are the basic problems. As a student of social science, when we actually look at why the problem is continuing for so long and why this violence is not being stopped. So this has to be answered from a very honest point of view. So as a person, I would like to say that there is no essential effort has been taken from the central government, from the government of India to resolve this conflict. Rather, there are many people, the people in Manipur, both the community are actually complaining against the state. Either the Kukis are saying that the police are supporting the Meitei, or even they are protecting. On the other side, the Meitei population are saying or even accusing that Assam Rifles are protecting to the Kuki militants, or they are not taking any action when the Kuki militants are actually attacking to the civilians.
Dr. Sriram Rajesh, I am very happy that you have very politely put the real issue here. And Sangwan Saab, that is why I invited you today, and both of them are very respected, and they're very Glady and Dr. Rajesh are regular participants on the show. And I thought, with you being there, certain issues can be very decently, politely addressed. Dr. Rajesh, continue.
So what I'm trying to say is that if we do not diagnose what actually the problem is, and if we do not find out, even the 60 days of conflict, if the state is not able to identify who actually are involved of trying to break the peaceful coexistence in Manipur, that means state has not done. Let me give you because I'm asking a question, but I will also throw some answer. In this conflict, the first conflict actually started from 3rd May, and it was a peaceful protest, and the large number of people were involved, but we cannot accuse all of them because they all have come for a genuine cause, that they are opposing to the Meitei being part of the, a recommendation of the High Court that the Meitei should be part of the scheduled tribe. But the problem is not that, because every community has a right to do a protest. But on that protest, some vested interest group, basically the Kuki militants, they came up with a uniform and AK-47 rifles, and they are involving in the crowd and attacking the community. I don't want to mention it here, but if 60 days on the down, the government is not taken action against those groups who have actually involved in breaking the law or breaking the peaceful life, rather they are talking to them separately without the accountability of the central government. So I'm referring to the Shu militant and the talks, secret talks with the government of India. They have 2 talks happen in Guwahati and recently to the Kaziranga. But we don't know, people do not know what they are talking. And government of Manipur have no clue about it. People of Manipur, particularly the Meitei, they do not know what they have discussed. The point is that the one particular group of people, they have already breached the agreement between the government of India and that they should not involve in any of the such kind of violence.
Okay.
So there are some rules. So they have already broken the law.
I think, Dr. Rajesh, we can go point by point. You have raised 2 points. Let's go point by point because we have full time to ourselves.
I will conclude in 2 points. My point is that those people who supposedly involved in this violence, they are not taking action by the central government, rather they are doing a secret talks. This is the one origin of the problem. Okay. And that is why one of the farmers said in one interview that they were told that you cannot go inside this area because there is a militant. So people have been restricted to go their village, and at the same time their paddy field were actually done by the other group in that case. So it means that all the security forces know that who and where they are there, but their hands are tied. Their hands are tied from the government to take action. That is why, despite Assam Rifle and all the security forces are trying to resolve the conflict, there is no political will, and they have not given directive. That is why conflict is still continuing.
Dr. Rajesh, I'll come back to you. The show is on. Yeah. Glady, you please respond to it, and then I'm going to go to the General Sir.
Sure. Yes.
Can you unmute yourself, Glady?
I don't know why we keep using the term cookie militant, because we all know that all the militant are under Sue. Maybe he doesn't know that. So these are village boys defending their land. I don't agree with him. And also a particular group of people have met government official, all those things. If we can come clean, who are those people? Why do they meet? A lot of rumor has been going on. The real issue is the chief minister has failed in curtailing the violence. And then why are the center not involved in stopping the violence? Why are we not pressing on the center armed forces to come in? The army, we have enough army, to handle our situation. We are blaming these people, that people, militant, cookie. It's not going to help it right now. 66 days. Why can't we stop? Why can't we have our boys from the center? We believe in center armed forces. Why can't we have that? We talk about paddy field. What paddy field right now? Let's stop the violence. Let's work together. Yesterday, that lady had to die. Had they listened to our plea yesterday, if PR was implemented yesterday, this lady would have lived. How many lives we have to count every day, talking all the surface? Why are we not really handling the violence the way it's supposed to be? Why can't we just have PR in Manipur and stop the violence once for all? And let's find out who are the culprits, who are the gun people, who are the militants, who are the bad people, who are the good people. Why can't we do this as simple as that? We have our officer in the army. Sir, why don't you call your boys to Manipur? Why don't we implement president rule and stop this for all? If we pass one day without implementing president rule, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. In the beginning, Kartikeya, you said that violence erupted everywhere, be it Churachandpur, Sokno, Moirang, Imphal. You have mentioned everywhere. Where is peace in Manipur? Well, how many days are we going to wait more? I don't know. I've been screaming, and we discuss day after day after day. This is like parliamentary kind of discussion. Why are we not taking a step that will stop all this nonsense? Why do we go back to history? Why do we go back to the thing that happened 66 days ago? Why are we not focusing what can happen right now? How many students? Why are we just not listening to what we are saying? Can we all say the chief minister has failed, the governor has seen the place? She should have, talk for our side, for both the Meitei and for the Kuki. Why can't everybody say, hey, central government, let's put president rule. Let's stop this gun business right now.
Okay.
This is what I am talking.
I respect you. You speak from your heart, and that is why you are on this show. So never think that, when you speak, I take it otherwise. No, not at all. That's the rawness.
Yesterday, I was in your show. Had my voice been heard, today's president rule would have been implemented. Many more people who are affected that just speak in one day. How many casualties are going out? How many fights are going on? Why can't we just stop this first and foremost? We don't even care who's talking with PM, who's talking with central government. This talk will continue. Peace talk will happen. I don't know. Separation will happen. Separate the hilly and the valley and whatever this will happen. First thing, stop the violence, Kartikeya. And sir, please, bring your men in uniform to Manipur. Please request the president to hear our cry. It's good for the Meitei and for the hill people. If they don't want to stay together, don't force them to stay together. Separate them once for all.
Okay.
And then
I think you are referring to General Sangwan. General Sangwan, the floor is yours.
Yes. Okay, Kartikeya, firstly, I respect the emotions of both my panelists. I mean, they are in their own rights. They have full freedom to express their views. But what is palpably visible now is the deep roots which this misinformation campaign has achieved already, both sides. You see, I'll first talk about the Sioux camps. Firstly, the Sioux camps, we all know by now. In fact, for the last 66 days, it has been a hot subject. Sioux camps are in existence from 2008 to 2023. Assam Rifles had never been bipartisan towards any party or any tribe for that matter, whether it is not only these two tribes, any tribe in the Northeast. Sioux camps were established as a tripartite agreement. From 2008 to 2023, never even once has it come to the fore or represented by any of the communities that Assam Rifle is siding with one party. Never has it ever come that this Sioux camps are now basically circling the valley. Sioux camps were established by the state government when they gave the land. They identified the land. There's no tactical siting of the Sioux camps. They were to be a little away from the habited areas. That's where they've been inhabited. These Sioux camps, there's an annual stock taking of all the weapons, wherein the central government rep, the state government rep, and the militants rep, they together sign this. The list is submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs and to the Ministry of Defense. Two ministries in the center and the state government, they can't be now closing their eyes if Assam Rifle is favoring one particular community. And for 15 years, a particular state doesn't have to keep silent, that let it simmer like this. So there's no way. Second thing is, initially when this started, 35,000 people were settled down in the camps. Nowhere was it mentioned only Maitis will come or Kukis will come. Very next day, that is not next day, but by 6th and 7th and 8th, 10,000 of one community and 8,000 of another community were provided safe passage by Assam Rifles. Where was this feeling coming that only one community is being favored? If this misinformation is coming, we have to understand. I got this from the arguments by both sides that Indian Army should be brought in. we are falling prey to a larger geostrategic design. We have to understand a state which has shunned the violence, a state wherein three principal communities, Nagas, Kukkis, and Maitis, have stayed together for years now, for centuries otherwise, but after insurgency, there was peace. Why this is being stoked? Sometimes Naga Kukki, sometimes Kukki Metis now. It is because people are wanting Indian army to be sucked in the insurgency. And let me tell you, there's no insurgency now. Do you want a established defense force to come and do mob control? Law and order? Law and order is a police role, please, for God's sake. This is the Assam Rifles is a paramilitary force that will be able to handle it. You spare the Indian army. It is in the interest of China. Let me be very candid about it. China wants Indian army to be sucked in the northeast. China wants Indian army to come south of Brahmaputra. China wants that Act East policy should get a beating. It has already got a beating by decades, by at least 10 years we've gone back. Act East policy cannot be taken further without Manipur being peaceful. So these are the dynamics which people, both the parties will have to understand. We should not fall prey to the people. And why only China? The others in the neighborhood who are just waiting to see us go back in terms of development. So these are the issues which you have to see. No force, a force which has its roots, I told right in the beginning, which celebrates Sangai with you, which celebrates Hornbill with you, which celebrates every festival with you, which is there with you in disaster management. How can it side with one party? And let me also just give one more point to you. An Indian Army soldier who is posted in Northeast stays there for 3 years. An Assam Rifle soldier who is joined the force in Northeast, he goes home only for 3 months. 9 months every year till the age of 60 years, he spends in Northeast. How can you separate him from the Northeast? I am sitting here in Delhi. My heart is burning inside. I feel restless when I see Northeast, which we saw with nightlife, which we saw peaceful, the kind of the affection which people have. You cannot allow this just because some international players are wanting us to go back. We have to shun this violence. I will later on in the debate, I'll just give you some kind of a thought also. How can we address this issue? This is doable, and these communities will do it. They're so peace-loving communities. So Assam Rifles, I can put it across. And one thing I don't know why the government is not doing, both state and central government. My recommendation is, what is the harm in taking civil society reps from both the communities to Sioux camps? Show them the outdated bolt action rifles which are lying in Sioux camps. No militant today or no subversive element today would like to use these weapons. Let me be very candid. Yes, if the weapons have come in, automatic weapons have come in, they're easily available from across the border. They can be brought in through a porous border. There's no issue in that. So they don't have to bank on Sioux camp weapons. So I'll leave it at this, and we'll come back and visit these arguments again.
General, hi, Brijesh Pandey this side. I wanted to ask you one thing. You very passionately and very eloquently put and contextualized most of the allegations which are leveled against the Assam Rifles. I just and about the role of Sioux also, as we have been highlighting that that there have been regular audits being done and the arms and ammunitions, everything are in place. But when when the Chief Minister makes a statement, Chief Minister of the state makes a statement that Sioux militants are behind these killings, or the Sioux militants are being threatened with the fact that that if they don't control themselves, then the tripartite agreement will be annulled and strict action will be taken. Then from where is this information going to the Chief Minister or to the Central Ministry about the involvement of Sioux militants or the the weaponry which is being used in this current clash between the two ethnicities?
See, I would like to make a mention here. I'm an army man. And I would like to recuse myself from commenting on any political statement made by a political personality, be it Chief Minister or the Prime Minister or the Home Minister or anyone else.
Okay.
This is for the polity to decide. But leave it at this, that the Sioux camps are not the ones which are being supported by Assam Rifles. I can tell you that. You can go and visit along with civil society organizations.
But you see, the larger question here is, Rajesh, what is wrong in talking to Sioux? In the sense that Indian people, there has been a government initiative from 2008. If you look at the context, they have been part of the political process. If I have to put this question hypothetically, baat to karni padegi.
Yeah, I think we are not asking not to talk to them, but we are saying in the last 15 years, when they have suspension operation, nobody have asked nobody have questioned about the role and responsibility. And Manipur really wanted to have peace. So people are actually helping them. There was no question, there was no complaint. But why the complaint comes that when the 3rd May was happened, and then on the 3rd May, in the visuals, you have all the photographs that the AK-47 rifle uniform militant group involved in the crowded, they have exploited the situation, and then they are involved and encourage the mob to attack the particular community. Then it is a clear sign of breaking the law. If this is the breaking the law, then the government should have at least some answer that who are those people involved in this violence. For example, if one is saying that they are not, if these militants are not from the SHU, then who are they? They have snipers, they have all the sophisticated rifles, they have all kinds of guns are involved. Okay? And then if people are still, then I respectfully disagree of one of the experts have said that this is simply a law and order issue. Then you have to redefine what is law and order issue. So in this case, one of the retired lieutenant general of the army has categorically said that there are 300 militants from Burma have crossed over and they might be involved in this conflict. That means it is a nascent threat. But we have not identified who are them. This is not said by one particular civilian. It was one of the statements from the retired lieutenant general. And this is on record. Then this is a serious issue of a nascent threat. My answer to Kartik is that you can talk, but the state government has to be on board. But when the state government is saying that the Sioux militants are involved in the violence and that they are trying to break the peace in Manipur, the central government has completely rejected this idea. It means that the government of Manipur's views is completely neglected by the central government and they are talking separate talks. And because of this, then and again, one of the UKLLF chief have already clarified that during the election time, they were promised that they will be given a political demand or separate. It was already on record. So even though the Chief Minister of Assam have clarified it, but there are many gray areas here. So that is why people are suspicious about the move that has been taken from the center because they have not considered the state government to be part of the process. Then who will rule Manipur? At the same time, people will blame the Biren Singh. And again, Biren Singh word has not been taken by the government. This is why the problem of the mistrust is actually happening in this ground.
Okay, but I'll come back to you because General Saab is also very. But I'm asking this question to Glady also. What's wrong in speaking? The government has instituted it. मतलब बात तो करनी पड़ेगी.
Question is not that.
I'll come back to you, Rajesh. Rajesh, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
General Saab, namaskar to you. I have one question for you. See, you say you're an army, and I'm not. I'm just a normal housewife. And I have one question to you, sir. If you're given a free hand, how long will you take your shoulder to stop the violence? I have this question that is urging in me. I really want to know if you're given a free hand, how long your boy will take to stop this violence?
See, the issue is free hand is a very, very loose statement. You see, free hand in what way?
Okay.
There are various issues involved. Firstly, it's a local problem wherein the two communities have to come together. We can't. What can Indian Army or the Assam Rifles or even police or BSF, CRPF, nobody can come and restore peace unless the society itself pitches in. So you all will have to come together and we will aid you in establishing peace there. How will we aid? You see, the weaponization of the society has taken place now. How will we take out those weapons unless we get this input that these are the places people who are having weapons? Weapons have been looted from armories. Who will tell us this? How will we go and do it? So to give us that we will impose some curfew, some section 144 and peace will not return like this. We may be able to contain violence for some time. For normalcy to return, there are larger issues which have to be done. And see, why I said was law and order problem, it definitely is not insurgency. Few hundred people coming from across, and this is all hearsay. This is not a factual input.
Yeah.
This is a
Sir,
hearsay which
who
has been
guarded the
conveyed.
border, sir? I don't know who guarded the
Glady,
border,
Glady,
sir.
Glady, Glady. This
Yeah.
is not a. This is not an inquisition of General Sangwan. He has come to the show because I wanted him to speak on the issue of Assam rifle, and he has obliged us to open himself to all the questions. Mr. Sangwan,
So,
you speak.
Kartikeya.
No, you can ask me a
Kartikeya.
question. First, let General Sangwan speak. Just,
No,
Mr. Sang.
Kartikeya, then I don't have any knowledge of army. I think I can sign up because it's beyond my ability. I just want to know the 7,000 looted gun in Imphal. If we can retrieve that, that is all I can say. I don't have any expertise in army or anything.
No,
So I
Glady.
think I have to sign up. Some topic that is my level, I can stay on,
No,
but
it's
I don't
not
think
about that,
I have
Glady.
any
You were
expert.
in the
No,
same
I don't
room.
have any Assam army expertise. I don't have any
Glady,
army background. It's
Glady,
beyond my knowledge,
Glady,
Kartikeya. No, I
Glady.
just want peace in my country. If we, in my state, if we can involve the army with general or someone who can just find out the solution for us, I think we still have our constitution law of president rule. I will sign up because this is beyond my understanding.
No, okay. Let
Understand
General
me. It's
Glady,
not my topic.
Glady, let General
Karthik,
Sir speak first. Let him
yeah,
speak first.
I'll just attempt, maybe I'll be able to
Okay.
partially.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sangwanji. Please speak.
So I'll just say, Glady, what you're saying is that Indian Army or Assam Rifles will come and restore the situation and normalcy will return in how much of time? Let's also go back and see the history. Any insurgency, when it is there, insurgency is contained, or these kind of law and order problems are contained only and only when police is with you. Punjab was normalized only when police came in. Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, all insurgencies, it is the active participation of the local police. So even if you, bringing in army with a heavy hand and telling people not to move around is not the answer. You can't do that. So we will aid the police, we will aid the civil administration. And I repeatedly am telling everywhere that Manipur today is not in the grip of insurgency. Insurgency is ideology based. Here, these are political issues. You pick up the history of the country. Name a state where these kind of agitations have not taken place. Name a state where you go to Rajasthan, there was a Gujar agitation. You go to Haryana, there was a Jat agitation. These are there. What is worrisome is 66 days is too long a period for such kind of a thing. We are here to find solutions for this. How all of us have to get together, sit together and find solutions.
Okay, tell me one thing, General Sangwan.
Yes.
What's the road forward then? Then you tell me. In your opinion, we met in the same room. The discussion was there. A day after, I met Glady in the same room at the Habitat Center. Then you tell me, sir, what's the way forward? I think that's the way we can move our conversation.
Okay, I'll just highlight few things. You see, to my mind, there are five points I can give you. First is this wisdom has to dawn. They're already wise. There's no doubt. I'm not saying people are not wise. The wisdom has to dawn again to the historical reality, the harmony that has prevailed. That has to be exploited back, and this will be by the society. Second thing where we are lacking now is the negotiation and discussions. Where are the CSOs, leaders, eminent personalities, ex-servicemen? You have two generals, eminent generals, reputed generals there. Invoke them, get them inside. Track 2 has to continue. The youth is missing. You go to any kind of a track 2. That day also I highlighted this when we looked around the room. There are only 2 youth leaders, not leaders, 2 youth members. Rest of us who are grey-haired can give our experiences. The youth has to take this forward, the peace initiatives forward. So negotiation, discussions with various segments of society have come in. And one of the most important thing is the political confabulations. They have to take place. Why are we not taking an all-party organization? Delegation can go there, all-party delegation can sit together, interact with various segments of the society. Urgency needs to be demonstrated both at the state as well as the center level. That urgency, people are feeling that urgency is not there, and to some extent, in fact to large extent, I would say it is absolutely right. 66 days is too long a period for not being able to interact with people. And we maybe at the center and the state during these political confabulations, they may have to make some deeper concessions, maybe for some time, maybe for some limited period, maybe to all the communities, maybe to 2 communities. So these are some of the things. And one thing which again I find is missing is assigning the accountability. Where is the accountability for media, for false propaganda? Where is the accountability for the police? How can an armory be looted? Where is the accountability for the administration? How can you not have camps being run efficiently? Where is the accountability for security forces? If one Jawan of Assam
I
Rifles or an
think
army
that's the
may
most
be
important thing, sir. I know you have made very important, pertinent point, but this is the most important thing. There's actually lack of accountability there, sir.
So if you find that a Assam Rifle soldier or an Assam Rifle or an army Jawan has misbehaved, he will be taken to task. We have a record wherein we have taken disciplinary action at the highest levels also. Two more points which I said. First was historical reality, negotiations, discussions, political confabulations. And two more. One is the awareness campaign, like Sue example I gave you. This geostrategic impact people are ignoring. You see, army sucked in Manipur or anywhere in Northeast suits the Chinese because they want army to come back from Arunachal and from other places. We have to understand. Who will understand? Northeast population is to understand. They are the ones who saved, I told you, Imphal and Kohima. They have to save our northern borders by ensuring that army is not touched unnecessarily for an issue which can be resolved by police and Assam Rifles. The setback to Act East policy. Huge money has been pumped in, huge infrastructure was to come. This Act East policy is also dented now. And you have to understand the credibility of Assam Rifles and the Indian Army. You see, they are not occupation forces. They are not mercenaries. They are part of you. 40% of Assam Rifles today is from Northeast. Are your Northeast soldiers who are there in Assam Rifles not reliable? Are they not the ones who will tell you exactly that this is the mandate which has been given to commit atrocities against a particular community? They are from the same areas. And last point is to restore normalcy, is to de-weaponize the society. CSO's role has to come in. The schools, colleges have to be opened up, and political solution within the constitutional framework, be it president's rule or governor's rule or all party meetings or whatever. That's why I'll not comment on that. What the government decides, both the governments, the center and state governments are wise enough to take some decisions on behalf of us as a society. So we'll have to have those kind of things going on. So these 5 things, to my mind, if done together, not in isolation, not in compartmentalized, then only we can find solution to a society which is so progressive. You see the literacy rate. You see, it's
Can I take a leaf out of your argument? Accountability, Rojesh. That is something which is missing. Accountability, indiscriminate firing, no accountability. Looting of armory, no accountability. Weaponization of society, no accountability. Absence of civil society organization, their lack of accountability.
I actually, the respected general have already given a lot of important points, and he actually limiting himself in the parameter of the security forces. Yes, of course, I was, or any other person is not even saying that the security forces are not doing, because they are helping to evacuation and also after the problem, and they are also doing some kind of medical camp and other. But what people really want from the security forces is not the medical camp. What they wanted is that when the civilian house is being attacked, as a security force, people wanted from all the community to stand and then take action against those people. But what happened in Manipur, that since they have already in the suspension operation with the Assam Rifle or security forces and the one Kuki militant group, they are not firing each other. Of course, yes, they are not firing, they are making friends each other, but other side or other people are attacking the civilian, and then there is no one to save. There is no one to save the civilian. This is the problem in Manipur.
Okay, Daddy?
And the security forces are saying that this is a geopolitical issues. Yes, of course, geopolitics is important. But do the people of life of Kukis or Meitei is more important than geopolitics? One has to act. I agree the point what the general has said. The last point, the disarming the community. So this initiative should start from disarming. I'm telling for disarming for both the communities. When I say that disarming is basically to those who militant, nearly 2,000 security for the Kuki militant, they have to disarm. At the same time, those Meitei armed group, the armed people who are being said that they have actually looted arms, they should also disarm. But what happened right now is that the government is not doing any initiative to disarm. Rather, government is talking to one group, and they are also not doing any action in the valley, because if they are not taking any action against the Kuki militant, and if they are taking action against the Meitei, they will be accused again, then you are partisan to that. So in order to that, just to bring peace, the government of India should take a very tough decision. They have to review of those parameters and relationship of the security forces and the Sioux militant group, because you all know that in all the hill areas of Manipur, there are many Sioux militant groups are there, and then it is because of this they are expanding the domination of area, and in many of the periphery area in the Meitei villages, they can easily attack from across the border.
Okay.
Let me give an example. On 29 in the morning, when the chief of the army was present in Imphal, when the honorable Minister of State,
Seeram, today I thought, I would have this conversation differently, not in context of playing game, because, Seeram, you're there, a part of my program every day. You have said whatever you wanted to, and I've never interrupted you. I'm just saying that I just wanted the conversation differently, because there's a promise I gave to General Sangman that we will keep it around the narrative of Assam Rifle. And why this is so, can we talk about it? And he very gladly agreed. Gladdy?
Then I will.
Seeram, I'll come back. Seeram.
Okay.
Yes, I really appreciate General Sangman answer to my question and understanding my little knowledge about the armed forces. Sir, we all know that 7,000 machine gun, heavy automatic guns were looted in Imphal. And then you say that we have to work together with the police. If the police could protect, why would those guns be stolen? There was not a single person injured. We already have 5 battalions posted over there. Why everybody is so quiet? Why can't we defend even this gun that was lying in the capital? And also you talk about society helping us. Don't we think the women, the children, the youth, the village defense force, everybody is doing what we can, and 66 days, all the steps we have taken have not yielded any results, sir. How can we still say that we have to work with the Manipur police who have failed miserably till today? We need some new kind of solution, sir. And also, sir, my question when I say that my faith in the armed forces, you have shook it down, sir, because I was believing that if the central armed forces come, some sort of governance will prevail. That also you say that it's kind of very hard. Maybe I misunderstood what you say. Now working with the police, the police have failed, the commandos have failed. We have seen that. Okay. And then now you are sending us back to the Manipur police. You are saying the civil society has to stand up. They stood up for 66 days.
Gladdy, basically you're saying that the police has failed. General Sangman, she has a point. Gladdy has a point. I have to concede that. Sir, wait a minute, Gladdy. Let me reformulate it. Gladdy has a point. Yes. Somewhere the police failed, sir. There is no doubt about it. And that is why people look up to Indian Army. Because they know that what happened at that point of time, Indian Army wouldn't have allowed it.
Okay. Yes. Karthikeya, I'll leave 2 thoughts with you. First is the presence of Indian Army and the Assam Rifles around there in Manipur during this time to render the prophylactic security is always there. They are present there. They are available there whenever required, whenever police needs them. But go back and discuss with your people. Do you really want Indian Army to come back? Would you like the AFSPA to come back? Because if you want Army to resolve the issues the way Army has to take over everything and the Assam Rifles, would you like to again invoke the AFSPA?
Correct.
Great difficulty. You all have said that AFSPA should not be imposed. Tomorrow, if the government announces AFSPA is imposed, there will be another agitation here. Why AFSPA
it's
again?
Imposed in the
Gladdy, please let General speak. Please,
Let me just finish. Gladdy. AFSPA should be invoked, to my mind, only in case there's an insurgency. Here, this is doable. We start imposing AFSPA for every law and order problem. There'll be problem throughout the country, not only in one part of the nation. So these are the issues. Army is available, Assam Rifle is available. They will be there to aid and support the police wherever required. Prophylactic security means should there be things going out of hand of the police, we will step in, but in conjunction with police. Today, Assam Rifle operates. Incidentally, let me just highlight one issue. This is the only paramilitary force in the country amongst all the CAPFs and paramilitary force which does not even have the police powers. You are working with your hands tied behind your back. You don't have the police powers, and yet you have to operate like police. So these are the challenges. You have to ensure that there's no infiltration, there's no this thing in the FMR region. Again, you can't apprehend and arrest a person there without the police presence. So these are realities. We can have a subject altogether being discussed some other time, but nobody is denying the presence of these defense forces. We will be there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And before we move any conversation forward, let me show you something which will be soothing to your heart. We have discussed all the issues which have created problems in Manipur or creating problems in Manipur, but there is something good that is also happening, which is at least children are going to school. Let me just play out those visuals, and let me just play out the bite of children.
Most of my time goes on studying and just playing around with my friends around the locality.
I find it really exciting and really happy to meet my friends, my teachers after so long gap. So I think it's a good opportunity for me to reconnect with my friends and my teachers.
I feel that the students are and their parents are being, a bit scared of going to school because of the war that broke out in Manipur.
So at least children have come back to school. Yes, there are problems in the valley of Imphal. Indiscriminate firing has happened. There is very low attendance. Look at the class. This class should have been full of children, but very few people, at least some has started to come. It's a trickle, but there is a saying in Hindi, बूंद बूंद से पानी भरता है, and I think बूंद बूंद से ही पानी मणिपुर में भरेगा.
इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि सभी लोग कर रहे हैं.
Coaching is now starting from grade 3, 4, 5, 6.
कोटा जाने वाली बीच राह में आधे टेस्ट देके हैं सिलेक्शन की चाह में.
ऑल इंडिया का बच्चा कोटा जाता है.
This rat race is for rats, not for humans. So why should we even be a part of it?
The Rat Race. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT,